All right. Good morning, guys. On a beautiful Tuesday morning here in Milwaukee, we will get this show rocking. What do we have coming up for you this Tuesday? As last week we finished out transmittal, we have a bunch of people to congratulate for capping. I wanted to provide the group a quick update as it regards to logistics around the office and what we're planning to do to reopen soon. We'll give you a Red Day update for this week, Thursday, a few reminders and logistics. Lindsay is going to walk us through what I call a search comparison, right? To show you the KW Tech versus some of the more popular platforms within Milwaukee. Kimmy's going to provide some compliance updates, and then I will walk us through lore, awards, market stats and insights, some new news on jumbo products from Keller Mortgage, and then we will round it out. Mandy will talk about upcoming training, education, and events. So real quick, just to kind of start it off, to provide the group an update as it relates to both North Shore and Lake Country Market Centers. You'll see an official email come out from us soon here as it relates to how we plan to open the office moving forward. I will tell you both leadership teams in both locations came back into the office working full-time beginning Thursday of last week. And then moving forward, we will be in the office to ensure that we're serving you at the highest level. And then as it relates to agent activity within the office, I would say this. The place isn't totally shut down and it's not on lockdown, right? So people have been coming in and out. They've been respectful of distances and cleaning up after their spaces when they leave. Totally understand that, and that we will get you more formal guidelines as it relates to what that means of coming back into the office and some recommendations that we will have as it relates to masks and congregating. And know this, whether both in North Shore or in Lake Country, there is plenty of space to be had. So if you need a place to get away to work for a little while, there's tons of space, whether in North Shore downstairs in the basement, in the bunker room, in the training room, or lots of different places you can go if you need a quiet place to come into the office. And same as Lake Country, there's tons of space available for everybody to do that responsibly. Know this too, that we also do have an order. We will be placing an order this week for hand sanitizer. We have a ton of cleaning materials, and also as it relates to face masks, we will be asking clients when they come in for closings, if they're not wearing a face mask, we will provide that to them too. So it's just some of the things that we're working on in the background as we start to really kind of welcome everyone back into the office, but also kind of letting you know some of the steps and logistics that we're taking to open that up. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to myself, Maureen, Diana, as it relates to office logistics or things like that. But we will also be sending out a more formal announcement here later on this week. Cool. It's been a while since we had really talked about that, so I just wanted to make sure that I opened up with that for the group to make sure that they kind of understood where we were at with that. Awesome. All right, now we're going to go into celebrating people. And it's so difficult to do this over Zoom. So do me a favor. If there's someone you know that is being celebrated this morning as it relates to capping, and you have their cell phone number or you're friends with them on Facebook, shoot them a note, shoot them a text. Try and, as best you can, wrap your arms around them, because it's a fantastic accomplishment that we all make sure we want to celebrate everybody.
Sure.
So make sure you're getting that done. So I'm going to pass it off to Diana, who's going to lead with the Lake Country group first.
Yeah, so it might be hard to celebrate cappers, but it is never hard to recognize them and by the work they do and how they get things done. So I believe our first capper here for Lake Country is the fabulous Kathy Durand, member of Team Trimble, always hustling, always making it work. Love to see you here, Kathy. Congratulations. And we have one more capper. This lady here, Karen Trimble, the head of Trimble team, making sure our essential workers are their bellies are full while she's also hustling and making deals across Lake Country. So super excited for you, ladies. Congratulations to both of you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Next, jumping back over to the North Shore. This person started a real estate career only, I would say, less than 18 months ago and is absolutely crushing it. as well as balancing a life of being a mother and everything that goes along with that. So Melissa Beyer of the Nicollet Group, congrats on capping in the month of April. Next person is a KW, has been with us, I believe, since day one, has built a huge business, and quite frankly, in the last 24 months is on a rocket ship. Natasha Duvall, congrats on capping in the month of April. Next person, this person is fantastic, has made a fantastic transition from helping on the largest team that was in a support role to start to understand and learn the business, and has moved and transitioned successfully into an agent role. Danielle Forrest, congrats on capping. Next one, this person, quite frankly, has had a little bit of a rocky road the last couple months as it relates to health issues and some surgeries that she's had, but she's been able to battle through it, ensure that her business keeps going. Nancy Fritz, the person who always smiles and laughs every time she walks into the office, congrats on capping. Cool. This next guy, quite frankly, I just call him, he just slings deals all over the place. He finds some very unique things and successfully navigates some very tricky negotiations as it relates to some of the properties he's sold. Is a very great resource to us as it relates to the commercial space. Dan Mickelson, congrats on capping in the month of April. Next, quite frankly, he may have the loudest car in Whitefish Bay, and it is effectively correlates to how loud his business has been and the growth that he's been on, and the family man that he is. The man who's always schlepping in the BMW, John Molitor, congrats. This next guy came to KW about 18 months ago, has really reorganized his team to build it for something that's on a tremendous growth trajectory, and super excited for where he's going and what he's doing, not only personally and professionally. Paul Nikolic, congrats on capping in the month of April. And then my next two people that we're celebrating this morning, hopefully it provides a little bit of laughter for you. I just want to celebrate someone who's been with us almost since day one, got her license immediately right out of school, out of college, didn't really know what she was doing at first, but just jumped in with both feet, super passionate about what she does. The Carol Baskins of the North Shore office, Katie Neville, congrats on capping. For full disclosure, this is from 2003, back somewhere, I believe, in Asia. So she wanted me to let you know that she does not support the Tiger King antics in rural Oklahoma, but I saw the photo and had to share. And then the last one truly has been with KW since day one, before he even knew what KW was, is a tremendous resource to people both in North Shore and Lake Country. The mayor of the office, Mr. Andrew Stillman. Congrats on capping in the month of April, and that headshot is just beautiful, man. So thanks for putting that out in the universe for us, for all of us to check it out. Awesome. So reminder, this week, Thursday, May 14th, we are kicking off kind of what we consider our Red Week, right? We know that Red Day kind of had to shift what we were doing as it relates to that. So in the North Shore, we are supporting the River West Food Pantry. Just so you guys know, if you have clients or friends or family that want to donate hard goods, we are accepting them into the Market Center this week. Feel free to drop them off or have them drop them off, and we will manage getting them down to the River West Food Pantry. You can also donate online, and as of this morning, we have successfully donated 481 pounds of food to the River West Food Pantry. We set a goal of 500 pounds. Here's my challenge to this group. I would love to get 1,000 pounds. We did 481 pounds essentially in a week. Can we get another 500 pounds this week? Deej, how about the logistics on Lake Country?
Yeah, you guys, we are celebrating St. Augustine Prep through our work with Red Day. And just like the North Shore, we're accepting goods into the Market Center between now and when the truck will leave here on Thursday. So if you have clients who want to drop stuff off, we're here to receive that. I also encourage you, I know a bunch of you have sent this out over Facebook and to your clients. Use this as a way to touch them. Everybody's looking for opportunities to help each other. It's a great way to stay in front of them. So we're here, we'll gather stuff at the Market Center, and then we'll have a truck here on Thursday. Looking forward to supporting their efforts. So thanks, you guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm actually going to turn it over to Lindsay Vranick, who's going to share her screen. So Lindsay, are you on and ready to rock and roll?
I'm on. All right, good morning, everybody. So today's tech training is all about the KW Consumer app. And the #1 reason that your clients are going to use this app is to search for homes. And so our app has some of the greatest search capabilities across the board. So there's a lot of real estate apps out there. So I wanted to share my screen and show you guys some of the differences between our search criteria through the app and both kw.com versus Zillow and Shore West. So 2 of those features are neighborhoods and landmarks. So the first one I'm going to search for is a neighborhood. So if you have clients who are searching in Whitefish Bay, but they want to live in a particular neighborhood of Whitefish Bay, they can search by that particular neighborhood. So I'm going to use Clody Park as an example. And you'll see on kw.com, I just have this one search bar, and this is where I can search for anything. And so when I search for Clody Park, it's already going to recognize that neighborhood. So I can click on Clody Park in Whitefish Bay. And so you'll notice the screen has 3 sections. I've got the map with the neighborhood outlined here. I've got some market snapshots for Clody Park with some statistics. And then I've got my properties. And so it's really robust. There's a lot of information just on this particular page. Now, if I go on to Zillow and do the exact same search, Clody Park, you'll notice that it's not going to recognize anything. If I click on enter, it really doesn't pull up anything. It's not recognizing Clody Park. It's not recognizing even Whitefish Bay. So if I do the same thing in Shore West, you'll notice that they actually have a bunch of different fields that you can fill out, and it's not as user-friendly in my opinion. So if I search for Clody Park and click enter here, it's just going to pull in 8 homes for sale in Whitefish Bay. So again, not particular to that neighborhood. So I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to search by a landmark. So again, this is a really cool feature as part of our app and KW that you can search by. So I'm going to use Pewaukee Lake as my example. And you'll already notice that there's a neighborhood for Pewaukee Lake, but I'm just going to hit enter. And it's going to pull in Pewaukee Lake. So if you have a client searching and they want to live on a particular lake or live near Miller Park or the art museum downtown, you can search for any of those landmarks and it's going to pull up on that map that particular area. So if I do the same exact thing in Zillow and hit enter, again, it's not going to recognize that. It's not even recognizing Pewaukee at all. And then same thing with Shore West. I click back in Shore West homepage here, go back to the search, click on Pewaukee Lake, and do the same exact search. So they're just pulling up 77 homes in Pewaukee and Delafield. Again, it's not specific to exactly where my client is searching. So just some really cool features as to why you want to promote your app, you want to promote your agent site. And keep in mind too that the app and your agent website has the same search functionality, which is really great. So tech training is at noon today. So a lot of really great features that I'll go over at noon.
Cool. Thanks, Lindsay. Guys, remember too, as we've talked about before, as it relates to why is search so important, remember, the consumers tell us what they want within these product features, right? It's not so much us telling what we want out of the product features, and search is the number one priority in terms of what all consumers are looking for. And so if you think about that, right, and you consider, all right, search is the number one thing, and most people are searching by school district, by neighborhood, by landmark, like, hey, I want to live closest to this church or this Starbucks or whatever. When Lindsay and I were talking about this, we said, all right, what's the two most popular search functions right now across southeastern Wisconsin? And I said, great, just show the group the comparison of the availability of the tools they have versus the availability of the ones that their consumers, or sometimes even our agents, are directing them to. So tremendous search capability. The data has never been better. So highly, highly recommend that you kind of dig into the search function, and know that the search function within the app and the search function within your agent websites is the exact same features and functions. All the more reason why we can help you figure it out. And if you need one-on-one training outside of Lindsay's tech trainings, feel free to reach out to her. Cool. All right, I'm turning it over to Kimmy for some compliance updates, who's also going to share her screen.
Good morning, everyone. Pull up my screen here. So just want to remind you all, we've had some questions about where do you find your closing statements, your copies of your DAs and checks when your transaction closes, and with everything, a lot of things happening virtually right now, you may not be actually receiving physical copies of those. When our front desk receives your closing statements and your checks, whether it be from the title company or however it got here via the mail, Emily and Jen, after they process everything, they are dropping those documents into your opportunity. So I'm showing you an opportunity here under your documents tab. You'll see you'll always have 3 folders, whether it's a purchase or a listing. So the closed folder is where you'll see a placeholder for the DA and checks and your closing statement. This folder never needs to be submitted for compliance review, but just remember that this is where your documents will be placed after it's received here at the office. So that's all I have for you today.
Thanks, Kimmy. And I am just going to jump back into our stuff. Cool. So I've had a lot of questions, I would say, over the last 6 to 7 weeks as it relates to, since we've moved to direct deposit, are people getting the DAs? Are they people not getting the DAs? And we're doing both, right? We're dropping the DAs into your opportunity within Command so that you can see them digitally and it lives there. But I also know that some people do like hard paper copies too. And because when we print the DAs as it relates to dispersing commissions, we also place physical hard copies for you into your mailboxes as well. So whether you like the hard copy or whether you want it digitally, both live within both spaces. And this goes to both locations for both North Shore and Lake Country. Cool. Lots of questions about that in the last 2 weeks. And so we thought it was just kind of important to show people where that lives. Awesome. All right, moving on. I'm going to jump into the language of real estate, the lore reports that just recently came out, to give you guys some insights as to what does the industry look like? What does the brokerage landscape look like? Where is the industry headed? And just trying to give you guys some comparison sets, right? So when you look at the language of real estate report, this first one that I pulled, I just wanted to show you April this year versus April of last year. And I know last week we did a little bit of comparisons versus the price segments. So this is more of a holistic view of the marketplace. But I wanted to show you as it relates to where is the industry now in terms of current production, right? So the market for the month of April this year versus April of last year, with just that month, the market was down 12% across entire Milwaukee Metro MLS, while volume was down 4.8. Okay. Obviously COVID impacting some things across the marketplace. But again, as we talked about last week across the entire market, I want to make sure that people saw this too. When you look at the future production, and what does the future production kind of tell us, right? These are our lead metrics. The lead metrics are telling us listings taken this year versus last year were down 37% on units and down 37% on volume. And those, as it relates to contracts, we saw contracts down 31%, right? So when I look at these numbers here, to me, this is indicative in terms of where we are going to see our summer kind of layout. These are our lead metrics in terms of where is the industry going, right? It's a cautionary tale is what I would tell you, okay? But I have some good news for you to share towards the back half of this as well. So then I pulled the Language of Real Estate report, and this is for year-to-date 2020. It compares, I know last month we did KW Milwaukee, and there were some questions as it relates to North Shore and Lake Country. So this month I split them out. You can see the Milwaukee Metro MLS numbers there on the left with KW North Shore numbers on the right. And you can see closed units so far year-to-date through April. Again, it's January, February, March, April. The market's up 1.6%. The North Shore group is up 14% on units. You can see here listing sold units. Again, it's the same number, up 1.6. We're up 7% with volume up 25% while the market's up 12. You know, when I look at these numbers, I really say, you know, if the market's here and this is our baseline, how are we doing versus the baseline? So then if we look at future production and knowing that April just took a large chunk of future production out of the marketplace, right? Year to date, listings are down 10% within units. However, the group within North Shore is only down 5.4%. So again, trending 50% better than what the marketplace is. Positive sign for the productivity of this group. And then if you look here in terms of contract written units, I'm really mainly focusing on units today, is down 9% for the marketplace, down 8.4 for the North Shore. If you take this as a comparison set then and compare it to Lake Country, again here, these are year-to-date numbers through April of 2020. The Milwaukee Metro MLS numbers remain the same. You can see here, the Lake Country group is really doing a phenomenal job in terms of their growth and productivity within the office out there on the western parts of Milwaukee. Really significantly outpacing trends within the industry. A little bit concerning as it relates to contracts written units, but I also do think this part of this has to do with the average price point out in that marketplace. So definitely a number I'll be paying attention to as it relates to moving forward. But here are the year-to-date numbers. What does this mean? Honestly, it's kind of a mixed bag. January through March was a really, really healthy year so far. April took a big chunk out of that, and we'll wait to see where kind of May and things like that, May, June, July start to fall. But I have, again, good news is coming, so stay tuned. Then here I pulled the office trends just so you could see on a rolling 12-month number, what does this look like? You can see KW Lake Country has now cracked the top 20 office locations across the Milwaukee metro market with it. And remind you, it just opened in January of 2019. That business is up 93% on a rolling 12-month trend. The Southwest office really coming in strong, up 39%. And the North Shore office up 40%, continuing to take market share across the top 20 office locations, right? Then I did a similar metric and I said, all right, let's just look at the North Shore broker trends within the same subset, right? Latest 12-month rolling number. And where does it compare versus our competitive set within the marketplace? So Shore West, all locations within the North Shore, Coldwell Banker, all locations within the North Shore, First Weber, Realty Execs, and Powers. You can see what their trend numbers look like across the industry latest 12 months. And again, North Shore doing a really nice job of creating some separation and taking share within the marketplace. And then very similar thing as it relates to the Lake Country broker trends. So again, I took a look at the Lake Country brokers by location. In all, I mean, if you really look at this, the Lake Country marketplace has been really, really healthy, and there's some brokers, big brokers, who are seeing some phenomenal trends. And you can see here the Lake Country trend for the Keller Williams Lake Country office up 93% over the latest 12-month trend. And you can kind of see really has kind of positioned itself in terms of the fourth largest player within the office or within that space. And you'll see here soon, it could very well soon take over Shore West Oconomowoc based on current trends. And I'll show you what I mean by that.
It will take over Shore West. It's a could, it's a will.
Cool. And then here, these are year-to-date results as it relates to a bar graph. So this is just simply January 1st through May 7th. You can see here, KW is now the #2 player in southeastern Wisconsin. Again, reminder, we've only been around for 5 years. The business is up 45% year-to-date across all KW in southeastern Wisconsin. Interestingly enough, at the end of 2019, First Weber was the #2 player, and both KW and Remax has overtaken that position. Again, these are just 2020 year-to-date so far. And then you can see there, as it relates to Shore West, in terms of their total marketplace within year-to-date. So this is just January, essentially through May 7th. And then I broke it down here, North Shore brokers, as it relates to those doing business within the North Shore in terms of the size and scale within the brokerage community. And then very similarly, I did the Lake Country volumes by the brokers out in Lake Country. And then again, the trend lines I showed you before were rolling 12-month numbers. These are numbers that are just year to date. The very cool thing here is if you look, Keller Williams Lake Country up 93%. Just an interesting message. I know I've heard some things coming out of the Lake Country marketplace as it relates to the story that's being told. Just so you know, year to date, we're only $10 million behind in closed production behind Shore West Oconomowoc, and on current trends, we should pass them in terms of total volume in 2020, depending how the year shakes out. It's early, but I'm optimistic. Cool. And as a reminder, I'll be sending all of this information out to the group here in our weekly recap. So now, as it relates to April and year-to-date awards and where are people standing and driving a little bit of competition amongst the group, let's jump into it. So $1 Million Month Club, in the month of April, a few people I want to call out are the ladies of Bark River Realty with Katie Tesmer and Nicole McGonigal. Had a great month in the month of April. Congrats. Corey Double Bolt, who quite frankly in the first quarter, her business was a little bit soft, came on strong here in the month of April. Congrats. Alyssa Burkhoff, same thing, had $1 million month, and G2 of Guy and George had followed up a really strong March with a really strong April. And you can see here a lot of the usual suspects here in the $1 Million Month Club in the month of April. April Home Run Club. So this is one listing taken, one contract written, and one contract closed. Those that are on this group are what I call they're insulating their business. They had a closing, they had some income, they took a listing, and they wrote a contract. That is the trifecta, right? A couple people to call out here. Ina Petrovici had a great April. Joey Carini making the home run club for a handful of times. Julie Litkin had a great month. And then the last two guys who I love, they always bring a smile to my face and are rocking really hard right now, Steve Strickland and Will Warren. Congrats on an April home run. And then I'm going to pass it over to Deej for Lake Country.
Yeah, and here we are in Lake Country. So those numbers that we saw in Lore are driven by these people, you guys. Congratulations. March volume, calling out Team Trimble, Bark River Realty again, congratulations. And Cummings Group coming in third there at 714. Year-to-date volume, Team Trimble at 12.5. Gallagher Lake Country, 11.8. And the Sayers team coming in, Katie and Jeff at 2.1. Year-to-date units, look at that. Team Trimble, 16 year-to-date. Gallagher Lake Country, 9. And our Lavender Group coming in there at 7. So congratulations, you guys. Thanks for being part of that 93% increase. Super excited. And then our individual awards, Mary Beth Milkey, 930. Lisa Erdman, 683. And Carol Nye. And I just want to point out these three ladies, recent graduates of our mentor program. So they're either graduates or actually in the mentor program still. So congratulations, you guys. Year-to-date volume, Lisa Erdman, Carol Nye, and Jen Thornton rounding out our top 3. Year-to-date units, Carol Nye taking it at 7 right now. Annie Stabler, 5, and Lisa Erdman, 4. Catherine Lane comes in, our newest addition to the team, and John Lorenz, both at 4. So congratulations, you guys. Great work, and keep it up. Super excited to have you guys here.
The Milky Market is hot. Nice job, Mary Beth. Cool. Jumping over to the North Shore for individual agent volume in the month of April. Molitor Properties setting the pace at 2.6 million. And also want to call out here again, Joey Carini. Talk about a guy that's totally on fire right now, really building his business, getting solid momentum, and really making a fantastic book of business here in the month of April. Congrats, Joey. When you pull over to the April teams, a couple people I want to call out here. The Wright Group coming on freaking strong in the month of April at 3.3 million, and Bradley and Company had a really strong April as well, doing 3 million. And then you can see the rest of the group here within the month of April. And then individual agents year-to-date volume broken down by units. And then individual agents here year-to-date broken down by volume. Quick shout out here to Dawn Wabashewski, who is having a career year so far despite all of this. Congrats, Dawn, on a great start to your year in 2020. And then finally, year-to-date teams, team units. If you look at JSG, I'm not exactly sure how many days we are into this this year, but that could be close to almost a unit a day. Congrats. And then you can see the rest of the teams there. And then finally, year-to-date volume across the teams within the Market Center through the month of April for the top 10. And what I always like looking at is spots 4 through 10 is the hottest competition we see every year for guys jostling for position. So you can see here where we sit through April in a very tight race in spots 4 through 10. Congrats, guys. Cool. So that's where the market is today and through what I call our lag metrics, right? Everything that's kind of closed. What does this look like? Great. Let's pat ourselves on the back. Now let's look ahead to the future, right? Let's really build our business for the summer. So what does this look like? Here are our market insights for the week. And this is where I would say the best news, besides, the cappers are great. The awards are great. Here's the best news of the day, guys. And I'm really excited to share this with you. If you look here, right? US number of showings per week, again, last week we're down 20% across the entire US. In Wisconsin, we are up 5%. This is major. This last week, buyer activity surpassed the activity that is going on in the marketplace from 2018. It's the first time since all of this has happened that we've seen buyer activity surpass where we were last year in 2019. Again, 1 week isn't a trend, but it's a phenomenal sign to see that I'll definitely be paying attention to see where this goes. But you can definitely see the trend within the activity in the marketplace is definitely trending positive. It has surpassed 2019 last week. And hopefully we should see, really should lead to a rebound here pretty quick. So great news. Also, if I'm looking at this and I haven't been all that busy lately, or I have kind of taken a step back within the marketplace and you're looking at income, I would look at this and say, gosh, buyer activity now is picking up in a big way. Someone's taking those buyers out. The question is it you or is it somebody else that they're going out with? Here, units under contract. Boom, baby. Look at that bounce back here through the week of 5/4, 539 units that went under contract. It is tied for the highest number of units under contract in a single week within 2020. Great news, great trend, right? You can see here, and then if you compare it to where we were in the beginning of 2020, really, really great trends in terms of the units under contract. We've talked about this before, but sales absorption, so this is the percentage of the inventory that goes under contract. Again, all trending in a positive direction. If you look at the last 3 weeks, all have surpassed pre-COVID impact trends. Again, 1 week is nice, 3 to 4 weeks is a trend. All positive trends as it relates to what we were looking at before COVID really had a major impact on the business. Again, another major positive sign. Next, here is the other great news we've seen. This is units coming to the market of total new inventory, right? You can see a growth trajectory here in terms of the units that are coming to the marketplace, right? 605 new listings came on the market live last week, the week of May 4th, right? What this is telling me is it's signs of improvement, yet we're still off where we need to be to recover. Okay, so we're trending in the right direction. New units, people are starting to prepare their homes to sell, as you can see by the trends. But we have some ways to go as it relates to catching up to the lost inventory units that have, with trends that we saw back here. So good news, people that were delaying their decisions are starting to reconsider to come back onto the marketplace. And so I'll make sure that we look at that weekly again too. Cool. I am just going to jump into the chat just to see if there's any questions. Perfect. None. Awesome. So next, Keller Mortgage update. I wanted to provide this because this is a major update, right, as it relates to everybody in this marketplace. I think one of the major pain points as it relates to your buyers and your buyers' ability to get a home under contract is their ability to get a mortgage right now. There was some new news that I was on a call yesterday as it relates to Keller Mortgage. Quite frankly, this group is underutilizing Keller Mortgage, and I think it should be time to reconsider that value proposition, especially when people are looking for ways to save money, right? New news out of the Keller Mortgage world. They very much recognize that jumbo products were almost impossible to find the last 3 weeks. What they did is they leveraged their scale and they overinvested on the jumbo product. So you can see here on 5/6, they dropped the announcement. The jumbo market continues to experience tighter lending standards and overall volatility. However, Keller Mortgage remains committed to offering lending solutions and savings opportunities. As such, Keller Mortgage has made a significant adjustment to our available jumbo rates today by dropping them to nearly 1% below the national average. I can tell you I reached out to Keller Mortgage yesterday personally for a conversation, and they are looking at rates on jumbo mortgages at around the 3.7% range versus most other lenders right now within the markets are looking at around 4.7 to 5% with money down to reduce the rates. Highly, if you have any buyers that are looking for jumbo rates, I highly recommend you reach out to Keller Mortgage. What is their value proposition? They provide 0 lending fees, plus $1,000 closing cost credit, plus various other discounted rates. I know a handful of people, including Ryan Delaney out in Lake Country, Tom Martin, a handful of other people have been really satisfied with the Keller Mortgage service and experience so far. And I know a handful of people have also asked, how do I get a hold of someone there besides just going through their website, right? So I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This woman, her name is Angela Hunter. I have spoken to her on several occasions, provides unbelievable service, unbelievable communication. If you have a client that is looking for a jumbo mortgage right now, I highly recommend that you at least have them consider Keller Mortgage and reach out to Angela Hunter to have her just at least dig into what she can help your clients save and offer you a very competitive rate right now within the jumbo products. Cool. Kathleen Wooten says, Angela is the best. Awesome. Cool. All right. Rounding out this week's team meeting, Mandy, I'm going to turn it over to you for upcoming training events and things to call out.
All right, good morning, everyone. So training this week, we did get some feedback on the new listing showcase and buyer needs from everyone. So we originally had this scheduled for every Wednesday. Instead of having you guys all come back on, we found it best to just push it to right after team meeting. So stay on after team meeting if you want to see what's coming new to market or if you have something to share. We're going to throw it all in a spreadsheet. So if you can't attend, feel free to shoot it over to me after or before team meeting. I'll make sure it gets on that sheet and we'll make sure that it gets out to everyone after. So we'll compile everything together after team meeting and then we'll make sure that it gets all shared out.
Hey, real quick.
So,
Just a point of clarity on that, the Lake Country group will be doing the same thing in your Lake Country breakout after team meeting. So North Shore, you can stay, we'll let everybody kind of jump off and then we'll stay with on this link for anybody who wants to throw out new listings or buyer needs, because one of the things I recognize is we have to be able to leverage our scale to provide you information on things that are coming up to the market to help create connections for deals. So North Shore, stay on this link afterwards if you have anything you want to share or want to throw out. And the Lake Country group, we'll be doing the same thing on your specific Lake Country breakout. All right, Mandy, back to you.
All right, perfect. And then of course, don't wait to jump on for Amanda for launch coaching, and then Tech Tuesday rounding out the afternoon at noon. Tomorrow, we have a really great opportunity to learn from Beyer and Trimble. Their team did $2.5 million last month. So learn how they're doing this all virtually with open houses and virtual showings. So that's a don't miss tomorrow at 11. Please remember Thursday is Bread Day, so there's no productivity coaching, but then we're back on Friday with Tech Labs with Lindsay at 10. And then Charlie's going to be talking about how he uses all these numbers that he talks to us about in team meeting and really being able to use those to tell a story. So that's our week this week. Moving forward, you'll see the bold schedule, no session again this Thursday, the 14th. And that's what we've got for training and education.
Awesome. Thanks, Mandy. So that's pretty much it, guys. Just wrapping it up. I will be sending all of this information out in our weekly recap to the group. If you want to stay on to throw some stuff out there as it relates to new listings or buyer needs, feel free to stay on the call. And then Lake Country group, Diana and Steph will be leading through on a Lake Country specific breakout. Thanks, guys, for jumping on. Have a beautiful Tuesday. Take advantage of the weather. Be well. Have a great day.